Greetings, good morning on this Sunday, May the 28th. I am Pastor Carrie West, serving the community of Pueblo West through Sunrise Church. And it is Pentecost Sunday, also Memorial Day weekend. So kind of a lot of things going on. But in the life of the church, Pentecost Sunday is a pretty big deal for us because this is the day we kind of commemorate that the good news of Jesus Christ started to be shared widely and with confidence. And because of that sharing of the good news, the church was created. The church was born, if you will, and so we mark this Pentecost Sunday every year. It is always the 50th day after Easter, give or take, because we always do it on a Sunday, right? So we are commemorating Pentecost Sunday this year by doing something very different at church. So if you are a person who has been connected with Sunrise Church, then you know what's happening today. We are going to spend a little bit of time inside of our building this morning, and then we are going to go out in the community and just spread love through acts of service. So, I think, and I'll talk a little bit about this in worship this morning, but Pentecost was all about the disciples kind of getting out and meeting people where they were at and being able to speak in a language that people could understand. And so I thought this year would, just be a great opportunity for us to go out of our building, to see where people are at, to have conversations maybe with people we don't know or who we haven't ever met before, and again, engage in these acts of service. This acts of service really connects us to our Wesleyan roots as United Methodists. John Wesley said that to know God's grace and to feel God's love and to be able to stay in love with God meant we intentionally place ourselves in moments or in places in which we can experience that. And one of those ways is in acts of compassion and acts of justice. Now, when John Wesley talks about acts of compassion, he was definitely talking about how we feed the poor, we clothe the naked, we visit those in prison, really being with those folks who are marginalized or on the margins of society. And then acts of justice kind of goes that step further. And those that we are engaged with compassion, we then ask them and we find out about their stories and their lives. And we ask questions of ourselves and of society of, how is it that some folks are having these kinds of experiences of injustice, and what would our faith lead us to address and to work hard toward creating God's justice on earth as it is in heaven. And so when we talk about acts of or works of mercy, these acts of compassion and acts of justice, it really is, for John Wesley, about shifting society and shifting the way that we live together in society. Now, this morning, our acts of service may feel like we aren't having that kind of impact. We're not working with, say, folks who are particularly marginalized, but we're kind of engaging in the earth through gardening, kind of cleaning up some spaces. We're going to be praying for folks who may be on the margins of our society. And hopefully we're going to have some conversations and find out just what people are passionate about and how people are living out their lives. I think it's just going to be a fun experience. It'll be something different. So we'll have a church this morning starting at 10. I think it's about a 20-minute worship. And then we're going to head out for our acts of service. And then all who can will return to the building and just have a 15, 20 minutes of kind of debrief and talk about what we saw, what we heard, what we might have experienced being in the community on a Sunday morning. without feeling guilty that we're not in church, because we will be the church. Yeah, so this is what we're doing today. It is a gorgeous day. It's going to be a beautiful morning to be out. If you are coming to engage in acts of service outside of the church, I should mention we have an activity inside the church for those for whom, being outside or walking around might be a little less safe or whatever. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. We will be worshiping for 20 minutes and then going out. I hope that you will come and engage fully in all that God would have for us today. We know that the Holy Spirit, just as the Holy Spirit settled on those disciples on the day of Pentecost, the Holy Spirit also settles upon us, and so enables us to do things we never thought we could do. And so this was what we will be doing today. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in church and then out in the community. Bring your friends and your neighbors. What a great day to join in being part of the church outside of the church building. So I pray that the rest of the day is the very best of your day, and I'll see you in church.